Okay, Broncos country, looks like we are live, but you guys know the drill by now. We've got to let the stream breathe for just a second here. Excuse me. And make sure that everything is nice and stable all across the YouTube platform. I'm still recovering from the bong rip I just took, but regardless, Broncos country, that was a crazy game. That was the heart attack horsies in full action, quite frankly. This Denver Broncos team has won so many crazy cardiac games, and this is just another one for the history books, man. I cannot believe the Denver Broncos found a way to win this game after shooting themselves in the foot seemingly at every turn, from Bo Nix's interception to all the penalties on defense, the busted coverages, the big plays they gave up in the run game, the struggle to generate a run game on the offensive side of the ball. There were way too many self-inflicted wounds in this game to count, but the Denver Broncos did what good teams do. They find a way to win this game in just the most crazy fashion, where the Washington Commanders, they score a touchdown with Terry McLaurin, and they've got an opportunity to go for 2 points to win the game at the end of overtime, and they go for it. They've got a wide open man in the flat, but what does Nick Bonito do? He jumps up and bats the ball down, and the Denver Broncos secure the victory off that. This is one of those victories where you've got a lot to dissect. You've got a lot to assess. There are some concerning trends for the Broncos that are starting to develop. This is the second game in a row where they've struggled to defend the run. And I want to say this is the third game in a row where they've struggled to run the ball. That was the big issue on the offensive side of the ball. They really could not generate a run game. They also couldn't really generate much on the perimeter either to try to counter not being able to generate a run game. Sean Payton actually talked about it in the post game, saying that it kind of threw a loop into their offensive game plan, and they had to adjust to it. Bo Nix threw a really ugly interception right to Bobby Wagner. It was one where Von Miller was looping around on a stunt, and he clouded Bo's vision for just a second. Bo did not see Bobby Wagner sinking in coverage, covering an in-breaking route, and he threw it right to him. That's one of those unfortunate ones where it happens, but in the middle of the game, Bo Nix made some really nice plays, especially the 2-minute drill to go ahead at the end of the half. I mean, that touchdown throw was truly special stuff from Bo Nix. So a lot of positives from him to take away, but also a few negatives to take away from Bo Nix. We got Computer Blue in the house, says, when Denver got the ball first in overtime, I was terrified that they wouldn't be able to score. I have confidence in this offense. They've shown that when their backs are against the wall, they can score, especially when you use more up-tempo, which it kind of looked like Denver did in that drive in overtime. That's where Denver has their most success on offense, so hopefully they're able to harness more of that moving forward in the next coming games. Devin in the house saying, shout out Marcus Mariota. He left it all on the field tonight. He really did, man. I'm impressed with how Mariota played, made some nice plays both with his legs and with his arm, kept a lot of plays alive, was able to scramble for some really nice plays. I was impressed with what we saw from Marcus Mariota. Ghost Answer says, whoop, whoop, go Broncos. Maurice says, blood was boiling, had to take my blood pressure medication. Yeah, I think there was a lot of blood pressure medication, heart medication, in my case, a little bit of the ganja, just to kind of calm the nerves a little bit. After that game, it was just a complete and total crazy crap show, basically. That's what that game was. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm a Broncos fan. Props to the Commanders for playing well. We got Mark in the house, Steelers Nation Australia. Good to see you, my friend. He says, am I still a mod? Can I please ban someone? I had a couple people you could have banned in my chat earlier, man. They were being assholes, so I ended up taking care of them. But you never know. Some dude might pop up that we can ban for sure. Cheers, brother. Hope you are doing well out there on the other side of the pond. Great to see you, Mark. But the fact that this Denver Broncos team continues to find a way to win games like this, It's nothing short of incredible, and it's feeling more and more like the 2015 season. Speaking of that 2015 season, this is the first time since then that Denver has had back-to-back 10-win seasons. They've already matched their win total from last year. This Broncos team, it feels different, man. It really does. We got Jaden from South Africa. I'm not going to try to pronounce all that, but cheers to you. Bro, I've been very busy, but you're always very cool. Yeah, Mark, let's stay in touch, brother. I hope that you're doing well out there. I hope that everything is going well. I know that you just recently went out to Europe, got to see the Steelers in Ireland, so I bet that was absolutely awesome and a really cool experience. Yeah, man, hope everything is doing well for you. I mean, it is different. This team is different. I'm telling you, the Denver Broncos wouldn't have found a way to win this game last year, the year before that, certainly before Sean Payton got here. The Broncos of old would have found a way to lose this game, but they find a way, man. They find a way each and every time. Yeah, man, that must have been really cool. I've got some roots in Ireland as well as Scotland, as you can probably tell by the red hair, so I'd love to make it out there one day. Broncos played in London this year. I wanted to go, but financially it just wasn't in the cards, unfortunately. You eat powdered laundry detergent? Nah, I prefer Tide Pods. Bo Nix is your guy. I also like RJ Harvey. He's good. Yeah, he needs to be a little bit more consistent, but when he's on, he is on, man. Obviously got into the end zone today. Really helped us out there in overtime. So, yeah, really impressed. You should watch rugby. I have a little bit, and actually, where I live here in Denver, there's a rugby stadium for a minor league rugby team, like right near my house. So I might need to go check that out. Evan Ingram, when he gets the ball in space, he's dangerous. Evan Ingram had a couple of frustrating drops in this game, but also made some really nice catches in the clutch. So you got to give credit where it's due. Whenever he gets the ball in space, like you said, Devin, he is dangerous, and he can definitely accumulate those yards after contact. RJ Harvey's a nice third down guy, absolutely. I mean, as a pass catcher, I think he does some really nice stuff. He's just got to be more consistent. He's a rookie, though. He'll get there. Dub, Broncos win. So unreal that I'm still a mod. Hey, man, I haven't demodded anybody, so I remember I made you a mod like back in 2022 or probably when you were still with the Syndicate. So, yeah, man, you're still a mod. I haven't changed anything. I don't think I've added any new mods recently either. So that might need to change here in the near future if some more people become worthy of being a mod. You must watch the Springboks versus Wales. All right, I might check that out. Did Adam Troutman have his career high? I mean, he did have a nice play today. That might be up there. One of his better games for sure. Kendra says, let's go Denver Broncos. Epic Orange asks, do you think the Chiefs will make the playoffs? They don't have a lot of wiggle room left, and they're going to be going up against that Texans defense that can make life hell for any given offense. So if they drop that game, they're probably not going to make it. They do not have a lot of wiggle room moving forward. Rugby's fun. I'll have to check it out, man. I've seen like some clips of women's rugby, and it's pretty freaky. I'm not going to lie. Those people who play that game are a step above the crazy people who play football. Though RJ Harvey has some good reps in pass protection, or thought he did, we'll have to see on tape, man. There's a lot to obviously break down just based on the TV copy. I'm going to go rewatch the game after we're done here and after I get done making my videos. So I'll be able to assess that a little bit more in depth. But as far as him running the ball, it was pretty inconsistent. There were some rushing lanes that I thought he had that he could have taken up the middle. But as he does, he bounced it to the outside. So we're going to have to see on tape with RJ Harvey. Sean Payton talked about the struggles in the run game. Mark, thanks for the $5, my man. Says, here we go, Steelers. Appreciate you, my brother. Let's see here. Where were we in the chat? Mark says Chiefs will lose. I hope so, man. I'm not scared of the Chiefs. They're not a very good team. They've proven that since they played the Denver Broncos. They barely squeaked out a win against the Colts, and they lost to the Cowboys. They're not that great. But I don't want their fan base to think that they have a chance and talk all kinds of crap in the playoffs, so I'd rather them just not get there. Tomorrow I'm going to be going for the Giants, so we'll be at the top. I want to hear different media outlets and commentators say the Broncos are the only team that's 10-2. Yeah, that would be awesome. So we're definitely going to be pulling for the New York Giants in that game. I looked. The game is not going to be on my TV, so I'm going to have to watch it on my computer. So it's for that reason I can't stream tomorrow's game. I wish I could because it's got such heavy implications for the Denver Broncos, but was not meant to be. They just keep winning, man. It's what good teams do. They find a way to get the job done. They find a way to get the win. On Die Hard Rugby YouTube channel, gotcha. We never play well off the bye, but give Washington credit for a good game plan. There was something I didn't think about heading into this game. Cliff Kingsbury, Washington's offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator when he was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals was Vance Joseph. That means Kingsbury was familiar with Vance Joseph's scheme, the ins and outs of it, and how to attack it. I should have made that connection earlier, but I didn't until we were watching the game and they showed a shot of Kingsbury and VJ on the screen together, and that's when it clicked for me. So that's probably why our defense struggled, combined with the fact that they were coming off the bye, a little bit rusty, yada, yada, yada. But that's something that I didn't really factor in coming into this game, and now that I think about it, it really does make a lot of sense why this defense struggled. That doesn't explain the penalties, though, and that doesn't explain some of the miscommunications they've had in the secondary. This is also the second consecutive game where the Broncos have struggled to defend the run. That's a big issue. So that's all stuff that our defense needs to clean up. I'm confident that they will because they're well coached and they're mostly well disciplined. This game, I feel like, was just an exception, kind of like the Colts game earlier this season. I'm very confident that the defense is going to bounce back, especially against a really crappy Raiders team. That's going to be a hate watch of hate watches next Sunday night, for sure. Not as big of a hate watch as that Cowboys game for me, though, because I didn't want either team to win. I was pulling for a tie in that game. I loathed the Dallas Cowboys a little bit more than I loathed the Chiefs, so that was one where I didn't want to see anybody win. At least I've got a dog in this fight. Men's rugby, rugby players are mean. The clips I've seen on the internet, like, ooh, God, dude. They call football players crazy, but rugby players just seem to be on a whole other level. Overtime drive was so amazing and looked so easy. Yeah, offense looked great on that drive. Evan Ingram, that massive catch and run to get the Broncos in position. And then R.J. Harvey able to punch it in. And then the Broncos had to go downfield and play defense, which they struggled doing. I mean, there were 3 separate fourth down opportunities that this defense had to get off the field and win the game. They couldn't do it. It took that 2-point conversion with Nick Bonito batting the ball down for the Broncos to finally deny the Commanders. But the defense was very frustrating in this one. Shit on him, Gage. I mean, I will, but quite frankly, man, there are people out there that just have skewed opinions and really messed up viewpoints. I'm 4'11", 250. I'm trying out for the Browns O-line. Do you think we'll be able to pass the Patriots, or is their schedule just too easy for us to win more than them? I do see a couple of potential losses for the Patriots. If the Ravens can get their stuff together, I see that game as a potential loss for the Patriots. And they also play the Bills one more time. I don't necessarily see the Patriots sweeping the Bills. So I do believe that there are a couple of losses for New England on their schedule. Quite frankly, Denver needs to take care of their own business moving forward. I'm confident in them next week against the Raiders, but they cannot play like this against the Jaguars or the Packers. Otherwise, they're going to lose both of those games, and then they're going to have must-win scenarios in both the Chiefs game as well as the Chargers game moving forward. You can maybe afford to drop one of those 2 games, the Packers or the Jaguars game, but you can't afford to drop both of them. If you drop both of them, then your back is going to be against the wall in terms of trying to get that number 1 seed in the AFC. What is football? Because we only have rugby. I mean, American football is very similar to rugby, but it's also different. I'd recommend you just look up a video on it. We'd be here forever if I explained it, quite frankly. Teams are going to go with the quick pass game against us now to slow the pass rush, got to adjust. I mean, that was on tape beforehand. The Indianapolis Colts and the Chargers both did that to the Broncos earlier in the year. There are only certain teams out there that have success in the quick passing game, and evidently the Washington Commanders were one of them tonight with Marcus Mariota. We got Chris in the house saying, let's go Bills. I'll definitely be pulling for the Bills here in a couple of weeks when they go against the Patriots. Australia is good with cricket. I don't think I've ever seen like a clip of cricket out there, to be honest. Already got that question. Yeah, Patriots, they're 10-2, but they're going to probably go to 11-2 after this game against the Giants. So yeah, we're definitely kind of chasing them right now. Straya. Interesting connection. Mariota played how I want Bo to play. Up tempo. Complete the short, easy routes. Take your shots as the defense gives and run, damn it. Peyton should take notes on the play calling. I agree, but there were also some plays that Bo left on the table, including that really bad interception. So the play calling at times needs to be better, but Bo also needs to be a little bit better at the end of the day. Mark says sub to Gage. Yes, please do. Would really appreciate it. It's free, it's easy, and it only takes a second. 3 out of 6 Broncos chats. Y'all won. Why you mad? The only reason that we're a little bit frustrated is because this team played down to their competition, and we're hoping that they can win a Super Bowl this season. So if the team continues to have these struggles, then we're going to continue to be frustrated. We want this team to play better because we know what they're capable of. Moss got mossed. Riley Moss is a terrorist. I mean, listen, Riley Moss sometimes will get out of position. That throw to Treylon Burks was an incredible catch. I mean, he went up and made the perfect catch on that. Riley was in perfect position. The pass interference at the end, or the deep completion, that one was frustrating, yes. But again, man, no matter who is on the other side of Pat Surtain, they're going to get picked on. I guarantee you, whoever would be in that position, Janae Barron, Chris Abrams-Drain, they would still give up some of those same completions and some of those same PI calls that Riley has. I understand that Riley Moss frustrates fans, but advanced analytics and overall tape will tell you that he's a good cornerback and a lot better than casual fans will give him credit for. Disappointed to see the big game by Ertz. Was hoping we had the tight end issues resolved. Here's the thing with Ertz. He's not really a tight end at all. The way the Commanders use him, he's more of a big slot receiver. And that did give Denver trouble in this game. They're able to take away the inline tight ends pretty well with Janae Barron, Talanoa Hufanga. Those guys usually do a good job taking away the inline tight ends. But it's these big slot tight ends that have been giving the Broncos problems recently. And again, with the way that the Commanders utilize Zach Ertz, that's where Denver had a lot of problems dealing with him tonight. Nick Bonito is a beast. What do you think about that one-handed catch over Moss? That was crazy. Yeah, that was just an elite play by Treylon Burks. I never thought I'd say elite play and Treylon Burks in the same sentence, but there you go. Yeah, that was just a really elite play, and there wasn't anything Riley could have done on that one. CMA, cheers, Mark. Good to see you, man. Nice to see Evan Ingram rebound after a couple of early drops. Yes. I hope that Ingram got a game ball in this one because he truly was special. 14 and 6'1". Wow, that's crazy. You're an Aussie too, so we're getting a lot more people in from outside the United States. That's the benefit of this vertical stream. So, yeah, that's really cool. NFL's better. Say what you will about Singleton, but that PBU was effing awesome. It really was, man. That was an elite play by Singleton, getting his hand up there and knocking it away. What looked like a surefire completion to, I believe it was Zach Ertz. That was just a really, really special play. Thad Fudge says, people are discounting our success because we win close games. So dumb, man. This isn't college football. A win is a win is a win. The fact is the Denver Broncos have found a way to win multiple close games. This team's different, man. They find a way to get the job done when their back is against the wall. There are things to be concerned about with this game, and there are plenty of things that the Denver Broncos need to do to correct the issues, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm confident that they will because they're well coached. Dylan says that was a good game. It was at the end, man, but I know that collectively Broncos country, hearts were beating out of their chest. I know that my legs were a little bit like jelly after this one. I got up and walked out, and I kind of felt like I was about to go down to my knees after this one. The adrenaline was just pumping through. So, yeah, this was an electric game, and this Denver Broncos team is an electric football team. This is the first time that we've had this kind of success since the Peyton Manning era. Just think about that. The Broncos have already matched their win total from a year ago. They've got 10 wins on the season when we were barely scrapping for 6, 7 wins from 2017 to 2022. I mean, we got 7 wins one year, and we felt that was a successful season. Now, we're talking about, is this team going to get the number 1 seed or not? First of all, that's just a credit to Sean Payton and what he's been able to do as the Broncos head coach. But it's also credit to the ownership for putting the right people in place for this team to be successful. You use pads in NFL, rugby, we use a mouth guard, that's it. Electric, like in the electric chair. Does VJ's defense have a 3rd and long problem? I don't think it's been a big issue overall this season, but like we talked about earlier, Cliff Kingsbury, very familiar with Vance Joseph and the ins and outs of his defense. So I do believe that that played a part in it. Sometimes these 3rd down plays, sometimes your corner will get out of position, you'll have a missed assignment, but I don't think overall it's a big issue. You should get your hair braided if Will Ferrell can do it in the movie Get Hard. You can pull it off. You'd pass for Will Ferrell. I've braided my hair a few times. It's just not my favorite look, to be perfectly honest. They're killing me. I think we need to get the number 1 seed. That's the goal. That is the ultimate goal for this team. They are trying to get the number 1 seed. And if they take care of business in these next coming games, the number 1 seed is theirs. The AFC playoff picture, I mean, it is very much in control of the Denver Broncos right now. The Broncos control their own destiny. They've got it to where if they win the games they should win moving forward, then they're probably going to get the number 1 seed. They're probably going to have the AFC run through Denver. But it's all about taking care of business. Dr. Checkmate says Washington played like it was their Super Bowl tonight. You got to give them credit where it's due. They had a good game plan. It kind of feels like Denver was thrown off a little bit in terms of how Washington played them. Denver wasn't expecting some of the looks they got on defense. Sean Payton talked about that. So credit where it's due. Washington played a really good game. We still have to work on our run game. We need to get the ground game to get that chip. Yeah, absolutely. And J.K. Dobbins, according to Sean Payton, does have a chance to return. Not soon, but possibly before the end of the season. So I think we could see him once we get to the playoffs. We've just got to survive until then. RJ Harvey needs to be more consistent. Jaleel McLaughlin needs to be more consistent. And if not, Denver needs to make some sort of outside move at running back. They tried to get Dameon Pierce. He chose to sign with Kansas City, and Denver is really, really kind of upset that that happened because Dameon Pierce would have made a difference for this team. Dub, let's go Broncos. Yeah, okay. Bears are the best team in the NFL. Chicago, number 1 seed. They are certainly the best team in the NFC. I will give you that. Best team in the NFL, I'm not so sure about that. But Chicago Bears, they're playing really well right now. So got to give them credit where they are due. Caleb Williams is playing well. Ben Johnson is coaching his ass off. So yeah, good for the Bears, man. Go Broncos, Rob says, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. The Broncos aren't going to do well in the postseason. So many close games. I remember fans and media were saying that back in 2015, and the Broncos went on to win the entire thing. So they can win these close games in the playoffs. In fact, I would argue that having experience in these close games would bode even better for you in the playoffs, because this is probably how you're going to have to win games in the playoffs. Win ugly. I find that the teams that boat race other teams in the regular season, once they get to the playoffs, they don't really know how to win these tough games. The Detroit Lions of last season were a perfect example of this. It felt like every single week in the regular season, they were boat racing their opponents. They got to 15-2 on that season. They went into the playoffs and went one and done because they didn't know how to overcome adversity and win these ugly games. So, honestly, I think that does bode well for the Denver Broncos having experience in these ugly games. I'm confident I broke heartbeat per second tonight watching the game live with you. I was right there with you, man. My heart was beating out of my chest. Need the refs to call pick plays when it's crystal clear it's a pick? Yeah, that touchdown play to Terry McLaurin, it kind of looked like there was a pick on it and they didn't call it. So, yeah, that's frustrating. They did call a pick on Denver in this game. Was it Pat Bryant? I can't remember who they called it on, but I do remember they called a pick on this one, or on one of the players in Denver in this one. I think Bo Nix played good. Overall, he did. Had some ups, had some downs, but I'd give Bo a solid B for this game. He made enough plays in the end to get the job done, and that's ultimately what matters. They find a way to win. That's what good teams do. They find a way to win. Laughing Black Baboon says, shut up. How about no? Go Broncos, Ryan says. Bo could play so much better if he had a run game and his receivers didn't drop the ball so much. The run game was really frustrating in this game. We've already talked about it in this stream. It's something that the Broncos really, really need to get better at. They're going to have to find a way to survive in the run game without J.K. Dobbins for these next few weeks. If they can't, then they're going to be in trouble. Benito played amazing. Yeah, he got robbed of a sack early in the game, man. Marcus Mariota was able to get it out at just the last second and dump it off to his tight end, but it looked like Nick Benito should have had a sack there, then obviously had the play to end the game. So he was awesome and definitely earned a Broncos Syndicate game ball. Hopefully he got an actual game ball as well. A tough game against Washington with a backup, though. That's a little different than playing good teams in close games. I mean, this team was in the NFC Championship game last year, and Marcus Mariota, he's a backup on this team, but he could start for probably 10 teams in the NFL right now. I'm very confident in Marcus Mariota as a quarterback. He showed that tonight. He's got guts, he's got fight, and he's got physical tools. Remember, this cat was the number 2 overall pick in his own right, so it's not like he's some scrub like Max Brosmer up in Minnesota, who was an undrafted free agent making his first start today, and he completely crapped the bed out there. It's not like that at all. The Broncos had to go up against a good quarterback in this game, and the Commanders, sure, they're not playing good football this year, but they clearly do have a winning pedigree with Dan Quinn, and they did make it to the NFC Championship game for whatever it's worth. And honestly speaks to the mastermind of Sean Payton, how elite he is managing the game clock when it's necessary. Yes. And that's something I don't think Broncos country appreciates enough, because I remember the Nathaniel Hackett year where game management, just simply managing the clock, was a big struggle for this team week in and week out. If there's one thing that Sean Payton has down to a T, it's managing the game and managing the clock. New England's going to get the number 1 seed on the back of their shitty schedule, but they'll lose their first playoff game. Here's the thing, man. I think they've got a couple losses on their schedule moving forward. So if Denver takes care of business, they should get the number 1 seed, and I do believe that New England is going to have a loss here moving forward. To who? I don't know. Buffalo, maybe Baltimore if they get their stuff together. We'll see. What is this? 5 games in a row by 1 score? We're built for a deep run. Exactly. I think that being battle-tested in these 1-score games is going to bode well for you moving forward. Why does Bo Nix have a hard time breaking 60% accuracy? So completion percentage doesn't really reflect passing accuracy. The reason why I say that is You throw the ball away when nobody's open. That goes as an incomplete pass. That's going to negatively affect your completion percentage. But that was actually a good play. Or when the receiver drops the ball. On the other side of the equation, sometimes you'll have just a little dump off pass where the quarterback didn't really do anything and the running back or the receiver, they take it for a big gain. We kind of saw that with the Evan Ingram play where Evan Ingram got most of the yardage on that, and it goes as completion in both stats. But quite frankly, some of these plays out there aren't really impressive plays. So it can go both ways, and that's why I don't really look at completion percentage too much. I don't care what it says. I care about what my eyes tell me when I watch the film, and I care about some of the more advanced stats out there that are based off of film. So completion percentage, in my opinion, is a little bit of an overrated stat, and I understand that people get frustrated with some of the plays that Bo makes. The interception, that was a bad play. But outside of that, I thought Bo played pretty well today. Crumble said, this game took 64 years off my life. Yeah, I feel you, dude. We already proved we can beat good teams this year. I don't know why people are so stuck on that. It's because the national media is never going to be satisfied, quite frankly. The national media is always going to move the goalpost, and they're always going to try to have the Broncos, oh, they did this, but they didn't do this, this, or this, so clearly they're not a good team. They know what their record says. They are a 10-win football team on November 30th. Like, we still have over a month of football to go, and this team has already won 10 games. They're a good football team, and that's okay to say. Good point. Let's get this says, Tyler, go look at the vast Super Bowl winner schedule and look at all their games. Tell me all of them are perfect. Yeah, seriously. I mean, look at the Chiefs a couple of years ago, for God's sake. They were playing really ugly games, even in 2022 when they won the Super Bowl. There are plenty of teams out there. The Broncos in 2015, how many ugly games did that team have to win? I don't know. People hate Bo Nix so much. I mean, the reason why people hate on Bo Nix is because there were a lot of predisposed narratives about him coming out of the draft, and Bo's proven a lot of these people wrong, and unfortunately, not all these people out there are big enough to eat their words and admit that they were wrong. I think New England can lose to the Giants tomorrow. I mean, if the good version of the Giants team shows up, it's very possible, right? This New England team is probably due for a loss at some point, but I don't know. This Giants team, you never know what version you're going to get on any given week. When you pass the ball 60 times, it's kind of difficult to throw for 60% completion. Exactly. And that's also a product of having an ineffective run game. In an ideal world, the Broncos would have leaned on their run game in this one, and Bo would have maybe only thrown the ball 15 to 20 times, but the run game just was not working in this one, so Denver had to throw the ball. Defenses play to stop the pass because Denver has a suspect run game. Receivers also drop passes, and he misses a few. Simple. Yep, there you go. That sums it up. Chiefs got all the breaks when they won their one-score games last year, but now that Denver's doing it, it's a glaring issue. Double standard. Yep, that's what the national media does, and that's why I try to drown out what they say. That's why film is greater than stats, 100%. And Chiefs fans are blaming the refs, which is extremely ironic. Hell, I'd honestly say this just proves our point from the last few years that the refs have been favoring the Chiefs, because now that the Chiefs aren't getting these calls, they can't find a way to win games. The Broncos are better than the Chiefs. I'm just calling it what it is. We beat the Texans, Eagles, Chiefs, and Cowboys. Those aren't good teams? Exactly. And even if you want to take the Cowboys out of that equation because they didn't have Quinnen Williams or Logan Wilson yet, we still beat the Texans, who are looking like a really damn good team right now, the defending Super Bowl champs and the defending AFC champs. What more does this team need to do? Armando says, do you think we still need to get another running back? I mean, Denver's looking for one, but the options out there are really slim. Zach Moss has been a free agent for the last several weeks now, and Denver still hasn't gone out and signed him, so I don't think that's an option. Cam Akers, he was on the practice squad of the Vikings. Seattle signed him to the active roster, so I don't think that's an option. It's just really slim pickings right now at the running back position. Denver's kind of getting bit in the rear end for not further addressing the position in the offseason. Bo actually cooked against the zone in overtime. He's been terrible against zone coverage all year, and he actually adjusted and thrived versus it. Yep, and that was really good to see. That was really good to see. Has Sutton been good this year? I think some fans would like Sutton to be more consistent, but he's been a big-time third down option. Had that incredible touchdown catch today. I mean, Bo Nix, that was an awesome play, but a good catch as well. So, quite frankly, yeah, I'd say Sutton has been good this year. Couldn't ask for a better turnout, though. Rayanne in the house saying, what a game. My heart rate, my goodness. Yeah, man. I think everybody's just beating out of their chest right now. People find a way to hate on the Broncos. Exactly. It's just what they do, man. These people hate on the Broncos because they don't have anything better to do. They don't have a life. Quite frankly, they get their clicks and they get their engagement based on saying stupid crap. So, yeah, man, this Broncos team, they can prove all these MFers wrong for all I care. They call my agent, I'll show up. Tyro says Murray out of retirement. I'd have to imagine they made the phone call. If they haven't, then shame on the Broncos, but I'm going to assume they made the call and Latavius said, nah, I'm good. I've hung them up. I'm retired. People hating on the Broncos pissing me off. Yeah, man, it's just what they're going to do. Just do your best to drown it out and ignore it, man. Evan Ingram had a heck of a game. He did. And it's exactly what the Broncos needed. That catch and run threat. We saw flashes of it in the preseason. We were waiting for a big catch and run like, oh, Jesus. We were waiting for a big catch and run like that in the regular season. And finally, we saw it. The amount of let's go Broncos chants during the game, and you could clearly hear it on the broadcast. Yes, Nikki Javala, former Broncos reporter, now Commanders reporter, tweeted out a clip, and it was a lot of Broncos fans in the stands. Finally, the Joker showed up. Broncos can definitely target getting a backup running back in the offseason, possibly like Zach Charbonnet or Tyler Algier. I do expect them to heavily address the position in the offseason, but for the rest of this season, not going to lie, it's kind of slim pickings. I'm going to the Broncos versus Packers game right on. Maybe we could possibly meet up. I attend all of the home games. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wind this stream down here, and I'm going to get some other content out, including Bo Nix's post-game presser. Be sure to smash the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country, just like you and me. Additionally, if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. The link is in the description below if you want some extra perks and incentives in exchange for helping me out and helping the channel grow. All right, guys, and until next time, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.